Hi everybody. I'm going to talk a little bit about my project and some of the instructional design models that I think would go best with it. So let's get started. So with my project summary, I'm going to be developing a training session on developing emotional intelligence for the College of Dentistry supervisors. This training is going to focus on the first two aspects of emotional intelligence, which are self-awareness and self-regulation of emotion. The goal of the training is to develop the supervisor's skills so that they can more effectively and positively manage their employees by fostering positive relationships and working environments. Let's talk about some of the ID models that will fit. There's two that seem to kind of stick out to me the most, backwards design as well as the ADDIE model. I'll probably be using a blend of both, but these are the ones that stood out the most. The main model components for these are, for backwards design, we want to identify the desired outcomes. So we're starting at the end result first and working our way back. So after we've figured out what we want the goal to be and what we want our learners to learn, we need to figure out how are we going to measure that? How are we going to measure these outcomes? So we talk about the evidence of outcomes or success. And then the last step is determining the instructional activities as well as the learning techniques. With the ADDIE model, there's 5 main components for this. First, you're analyzing the problem and going through a task analysis, which is similar to identifying your desired outcomes. The second step is designing your training. So you're creating the content, figuring out what you're going to teach. Third step is development of the training. So you're going to look at what you're going to teach, but really focus on how you're going to teach it to your audience. The fourth step is implementing the training. So we'll be rolling that out to our supervisors. And then the very last step is evaluating their success. So that kind of goes a little bit in line with backwards design. It's just kind of almost an opposite order. So why is it a good fit? The backwards design model is a good fit for my training because it has been requested by our upper management actually in order to prevent turnover and reduce employee relations issues. So we were given a problem, we were given a desired outcome, which was to prevent these things. So that's already been identified first. We're then going to kind of look at the measure of success. So for this, it's a little bit more challenging because emotional intelligence is a soft skill, and we can't test the supervisors with a test and making sure they're doing it. And we're not really following up either as the trainers. So how we're going to measure the success is probably looking down the road a month or 2 months after the training, see if turnover has reduced as well as the number of employee relations issues. It's a good fit as well because we're looking at the big picture and then we're narrowing down what we want to teach and how we want to teach it. So in this case, we've looked at the problems that we want to solve and decided that increasing emotional intelligence skills is a good solution. And then the very last step is going to be designing the training. So with the ADDIE model, we started with the desired outcomes, which is kind of the task analysis, figuring out how we're going to solve a problem. We have already identified our target audience, which in this case is supervisory staff at the college. We're then going to create learning objectives and instructional strategies. So we've already determined that we're going to increase the emotional intelligence skills, focusing on the first 2 categories of emotional intelligence. We're then going to develop the training, revise it, and hopefully if we can do a trial at the college, that would be great. Second to last step is going to be implementing the training, and then the very last is evaluate if it was successful. So naturally, these things kind of fall into what we're doing for the college. So these are the 2 that I'll probably be following. So I look forward to hearing your feedback. If you think there's any other models that might fit as well, I am always open to suggestions. Thanks so much.